Christine Ann Baker lost her sister earlier on this year, Sister Denise. Of course, when we say lost, it's a bit of a silly thing to say, really, because we know she's in the Summerlands, we know she's in spirit, and if we know where they are, then they're not really lost, are they? Really, it's a bit of a silly thing, but it's a figure of speech, I suppose, that we all end up saying. But she's just, I think, I was wondering if we could probably maybe have a word with Denise just to see maybe how she is or whatever. I thought we'd use these mediumship cards here. Each card has a pre-written message on it, a sentence as you could call it, and as we shuffle them, Denise's spirit will manipulate them and move them around, of course, and then the spirit will have left a message. When we cut the deck, it will split at the most energetic point, and that's where Denise will enter and join us. So what we do, we will invite we'll invite Denise to join us, and we'll ask her to make her presence known and to commune with us. Spirit of Denise, as we shuffle, we just say, Spirit of Denise, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Denise, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Denise, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Denise, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Denise, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Denise, through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Denise and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck there, and as we say, where it splits is where it's now at its most energetic point, where Denise has now joined us. And so what we'll do, we'll just place Denise's energy there, and just before we do start, I'd like to welcome you, Denise, to our setting. I want to just thank you for your time. I'd like to thank you for your energy. We thank you for your love and for the message that you've brought for Christine there. So what we're going to do, I normally deal out 3 cards initially. I suppose you could say a bit of beginning, middle and end of statement, if you sort of view it that way. Gives a sort of timeline, makes sense of, I suppose, that's my theory anyway, and it seems to work. The power of 3, everything has to be divisible by 3 normally in a seance, doesn't it? 3 candles and 3, but if we're offering food or whatever, we have to do that. And usually we have to use a circular table. We've not got one of them, have we, Denise? But nevertheless, what's the first thing you want to say there to Christine? We're going to take off the top card there. This will be the first thing you want to say, isn't it? So you've got the floor now, Denise. This is your time, your space for you to just speak and pass on, convey anything you want to maybe say or whatever. Let's just flip the card nice and slowly. Flip it nice and not to disturb the energy, just out of respect for spirit, out of respect for Denise there. And there, as you can see, the first card, it just says, Denise is just saying to you, Christine, that it is not your fault. Christine, it's not your fault, this isn't. I know that you do, okay, you blame yourself, I know. I know you do, but it isn't. You can stand there with your head down and feel not sorry for yourself, but just feel sorry, maybe, but that's not going to change anything. All it's going to do is just make it worse for you. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself for things that you had no power to change or whatever, have no power anyway. I suppose really, Denise, in that sense, it's easy to sort of, we have to try and find somebody to blame when the weather is bad, when it's wet, or when it's hot weather, it's global warming, and when it's wet, it's climate change. Either way, when the weather, even the weather isn't to our desire, somebody has to be to blame for it. We have to blame each other. Why? And I think that's what Denise is saying, isn't it, Denise? That because something negative has happened, because you passed earlier, it was maybe your time to go, and whatever, for whatever reason it was. Why do we have to blame? Why do we have to blame ourselves or blame others? In this case, blaming others we can't do, so we blame ourselves. We've got to find somebody to blame, so we'll blame ourselves. It's easy, isn't it, that way? It's a bit like how the Buddhists say you have to believe in something. If you don't believe in anything, at least believe in something. Believe in yourself. And it's a similar sort of thing. But in this sort of negative context, it's if you can't blame anybody, blame yourself. It's as good as blame. Somebody has to be to blame. Why does somebody have to be to blame? Why? And I think this is what maybe Christine was like, maybe when she was on the earth plane, isn't it, Christine? That's what you're trying to say. I sort of get that. I want to pull out the next card to see what the next thing is that you've got to say there, Christine, because clearly something's got to be added to this. Let's just flip it nice and slow again, nice and steady, not to disturb the energy or anything like that. Let's just see what else is there for us. And she's just saying, Christine, I'm standing right next to you. I suppose you can see that sort of blurred sort of image there of a figure. Although you can't see me clearly, you might feel me, my presence, but I'm standing right next to you. It's not your fault, Christine. I'm standing right next to you. I'm with you. I'm travelling this journey with you. I'm in the spirit plane, Christine, but I'm still on the same journey. I'm on the same train, but in a different carriage. I suppose you could view it that way, couldn't you? Really, and I suppose if you view it like that, and the carriage between you and me is blocked off, but nevertheless, we can tap on the wall. But I'm standing right next to you, literally, in that sense. My spirit is there next to you. It's not that severe, that analogy I've just sort of given, fortunately. I want to just see what the next card is, so we can sort of have sort of this beginning, middle and end. If any other cards, which you feel that probably a few more cards, or at least 3, I sense the number 3. 3 more may be wanting, or Denise wants just 3 more things to actually say, or whatever. Let's just flip this over just to see what's this is going on. I think this is what it is, isn't it? And she's just saying, yes, it's not your fault, Christine, and I'm standing right next to you because I want you to know that I wish I'd told you more often how much I love you. A bit of regret going on there, isn't there, Denise? But nevertheless, you've just done it. I always call this the you've just done it card, because in the sense, by saying I wish I'd told you how much I love you, you've just said it, haven't you? And in that sense, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but it's a bit of a 2-in-1, really, isn't it? So she's saying, I do love you. Now, I wish I'd told you when I was on the earth plane. I think they really should put that, when I was on the earth plane. I wish I'd told you more often I loved you. But of course, I'm telling you now because I'm standing right next to you, and you can't get better than that, can you? You can't get better than that. That's this first of these 3 that I sort of sense let's just see what else is there. Yes, although you may not understand it now, everything works together for a reason. I suppose it's that sort of everything works together for good for those who love God or whatever the scriptures say. But in this case, she's saying although you don't understand it now, everything does work together for good. But don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Not your fault. Because you don't understand something doesn't make it your fault that something has happened, not so much gone wrong, but it hasn't gone in your favour, and it hasn't, and it's upset you. Of course, that's easier said than done, isn't it, Christine? Denise, it's easier to say, easier said than done, but she's just saying, although you don't understand it now, it'll come out in the wash, won't it, Denise? What else have you got to say about this? In this here, let's just see what this one is. Yeah, she's just saying don't be afraid, or that because you don't understand something, don't be afraid. Don't fear the worst. Don't blame yourself that the best hasn't happened. But don't fear the worst, because you don't know what's around the corner. But don't fear. I sort of sense she's saying, don't fear the worst. Don't be pessimistic, because I'm standing right next to you. Yes, okay. I wish I'd said more often I loved you, and maybe that's what you're blaming yourself for as well. That we didn't. We okay. We had a laugh and a joke, and we cancelled each other and spoke and talked, but we never really actually said what we should have said. And I get a sort of sense as though you're blaming yourself for not telling you that you loved her sort of closer or around about at the time of her passing. I want to just see what this this third card is, because we did say 3, didn't we, Denise? We did sense 3 from you there. Oh, we've just heard number 4. Just said 4 as well. She wants another one. Although that could be just me being nosy, wanting another one anyway, a voice in your head. You just sort of get that, don't you? But nevertheless, you're just saying I'm so much better now. So much better now, are you? So much better now in the sense that you've managed to say this. I sort of sense this is a sort of very instant thing in the sense that I'm so much better now. But of course I'm so much better now because I'm not the thing that sent me to the summer lands. I'm not suffering from, because I won't be, because I'm not in the physical anymore. It's the physical that suffered, not the spiritual. And the spirit is free. A bit like the car is, we sort of say, the car isn't working, the car is clapped out, but I managed to get out and walk. Okay, it took me longer, but at least I'm not in a clapped out banger, if you get what I mean. And I feel better now for it, because I'm free to pick a new car, which is, of course, maybe, if it's reincarnation, 9 months after passing, maybe she's somewhere now. Who knows? You don't know what's going on. But her spirit is there. I sort of feel as though really her spirit is still there. It's not, you know what I mean, don't you? In that sense. I'm just pulling this other one, this number 4 out that she seems to be wanting. I got a sense that she's important. I don't know why. Important for what reason? Because it says, I have become one of your guides. Well, is that why we wanted number 4? Is that why you're standing right next to her? Well, there you go. You can't get better than that, can you? What more could you wish for than that? Your sister is one of your guides. Now, at this point, I just want to check something. Yes, your sister, my sister Denise. I just had to check that because I thought, I wonder if I'm absent-minded. But, okay, Denise, so that's why we wanted number 4. That's why we just wanted to say I'm standing right next to you, because I can tell you how much I love you. I can tell you, don't blame yourself, it's not your fault. And with that, you can't get better than that. But I think maybe you've sensed that anyway. but that clarifies it, doesn't it, Denise? And I want to thank you for this message that you've brought for Christine, just so it may clarify what she already knows. But what we're going to do now, thank you for your message. We're just going to gather all these cards together now. And what we're going to do, we're just going to put them in like just a neat pile there, like that. Just pop them there, and then just before we go, that love that you wish that you'd expressed more, which you know you already have done because you just said it again. That love is the law, love is the bond. Merry did we meet, merry do we part. And Denise, merry may we meet again. And until next time, we're just going to place the rest of the deck now, the rest of the cards on top of Denise's cards, and lay Denise now to rest back in the Summerlands until next time. And until then, what we do, we just close our eyes and just visualise a door wide open with a bright light coming through it. And as we do, we just imagine that light going slightly dimmer as the door closes on it. And then it gets a bit dimmer and a bit dimmer and a bit dimmer as the door closes. The door's ajar now, isn't it? You can just about see the light through the crack in the door. And then it closes and it's dark again. And we open our eyes and return to the darkness of this cruel, harsh world, that we must draw our own breath in pain to tell our own story. Until we all meet again, which we will do, won't we? But just for now, blessed be to Denise and all absent friends.